under the surface, you don't know what you'll find until it's your time. No second chances, but all we can do is try. I made up my mind. I can't see you, but I hear your call, baby, hold on now. We're going home. If we make it or we don't, we won't be alone. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. If you're waiting all your life, you won't ever go. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine. Some things are simple and hard to ignore, they say. The truth is like that. We're getting colder, so far from the shore, I say. The world is like that. I can't see you, but I hear your call, baby, hold on now. We're going home. If we make it or we don't, we won't be alone. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. If you're waiting all your life, you won't ever go. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine, there's a place that I wanna run with you, darling. There's a place that I wanna run with you. We're going home. If we make it or we don't, we won't be alone. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. If you're waiting all your life, you won't ever go. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. When I see your light shine, I know I'm home. I'm home. When I see your light shine.
What Ellen DeGeneres says in being kind to one another is actually a really good point, because if you're kind to someone, that person is happy and gives that kindness to somebody else. Thank you. And then that person is happy. So it goes around and around, I think. Like, if you know how to handle your money and, you know, put good food on the table and make your family happy, and you know, I know that if I buy something new, I'm quite happy with myself, but I don't think it's the be all and end all of being happy is money.
I think that happiness in society is associated with success, and for some people success is having a dream job, being very wealthy. So being happy and have money is connected, but it's also an image that people put to the world. So a lot through social media, there's influencers that don't really
Post the bad stuff?
Yeah, they only show the happy moments of their lives, and something that only the best part of yourself. So I think also happiness in society is something, it's a fake thing, but not everyone's aware of that. They think the happiness is having a super fit body, it's having being happy all the time, have perfect teeth, have perfect makeup every day. But most of it is insecurity, I think. But happiness is being perfect for some people, and to show that to the rest of the world.
In our society, I read a very good study that they did in the UK, and it was a big study. So it incorporated a lot of people, and they asked people, you know, what is happiness, and the overwhelming response came out at three things. You had to live in a house, so you didn't necessarily have to earn that much yourself, but the house that you live in had to earn the equivalent. Obviously, it was UK in pounds, but the equivalent of about 100,000 Australian dollars. And interestingly, if you earned more than that, or if the household earned more than that, it didn't necessarily make you any happier. So the financial, economic security that amount of money provided didn't increase exponentially the more you earned. It was sort of a bare minimum of happiness that you had to have this much. So it's obviously, you know, I guess in our society, in Western society, that amount of money represents, you know, like the security. I don't know how that would translate to other societies, but in our society, which is I guess increasingly more economically driven, the security is represented by that amount of money that allows you to do this many things. But you know, as the study said, if you earned more than that, you weren't any more happier. The second factor was that you had to have one significant person in your life, one significant other person. So it didn't really matter who that other person was, whether it was a wife or a husband or a girlfriend or a friend. It was that one other person in your life. So, you know, very indicative of the fact that, you know, as human beings, we're not an isolated creature. We're not an isolated. We need other people. So a minimum of one other person in your life. The third factor that they found is that we had to have a purpose in life. We had to do something that was meaningful. We had to, you know, do something that meant something, not just to us, but to society. You know.
In hospitality, that if I have customers be lovely because I'm being lovely to them, then it goes around and around. And my friends, my family make me happy. My son makes me happy. Like, I think you learn as a parent that being happy is a lot easier than being sad. Like, they can just smile at you and you're happy.
What makes you happy?
Are you dancing? Go dancing. Dancing makes you happy.
Happiness for me is just seeing positive things in the smallest things. Like here, it is. It's amazing. We happen to live in such an amazing part of the world, and happiness for me is just being here and being alive. Happiness for me is being healthy, being able to like jump and do things with my body, because not everyone can do that. And happiness for me is something that cannot be put into, it cannot be compared to money, because that's a stressful thing. Of course, it helps you do things, like having money is a safety, but that necessarily doesn't mean that you're happy. It's just being alive. It sounds very cheesy, but it's true, because in the end, that matters is your health.
If we use the framework of those three determinants as a definition of happiness, I think, you know, I live in a house where we earn you know, a little more than 100,000 a year, and we bring in that much into the house, and that I guess makes us secure. It frees up a lot of the worries and anxieties that might be created by not having enough money or enough economic security. So in that sense, that we don't have to worry about not being secure in an economic sense. If we look at the determinant of having one significant other person in your life, well, I'm married, I have a good wife, I have a family, and we get on pretty well. So we have, there are significant other people in my life that qualifies us for that second of the criteria. And then doing something that is meaningful. Well, I work as a nurse. I'm a nurse that looks after old people. So from a job satisfaction perspective, a sense that you're contributing to the society in the sense that you're doing something meaningful, it meets all of those needs.